Hi everyone, welcome to today's workshop, Make Better Decisions with Analytics. Grow with Google helps people grow their skills, careers, and businesses by offering free digital skills and training tools. I'll start by introducing myself. I'm Christina Shepard and I'm the head of reference here at the Dougherty County Public Library, and I'm so excited that you're here with us. Today we're going to discuss how you can make more strategic business decisions with the insights you gain from Google Analytics. What this quote serves to remind us is that getting data is not the problem anymore. We have big data. If you're already using Google Analytics, data on your web presence is being collected as we speak. Google's opportunity with analytics is to take this huge amount of data and to make it manageable for people, to enable them to interpret it. We need to find the interconnections, patterns, themes, and build in context for genuine understanding. The ultimate goal is to provide actionable insight that you can use to prove or disprove a hypothesis. But first, we have to understand what an insight is and how we should improve using analytics on any platform. We should always look to use analytics to better understand our business and the goals we're trying to achieve. Viewing reports isn't enough. You need to know what you're looking for. Today, we're going to talk about how to use analytics to grow your business, not simply look for a bunch of numbers. First, let's define insights. Insights help you create more effective business solutions using strategies informed by real consumer truths. Whether they're brand strategies, creative ideas, product innovations, or media plans. The trouble is, insights are notoriously hard to pin down. Ask 100 people and you'll get 100 different definitions of an insight. What's clear, when businesses look to Google for help with finding insights, they're not just looking for data. Insights are based on data, but are novel, credible, and actionable enough to unlock new opportunities. A great insight is unexpected, yet obvious. An insight should inspire action. It must be useful. So how do we find them? Before we go any further, let's define a few terms we're going to use today. Data is for you to obtain from users, like demographic information, behavior, and activity. Analytics are patterns and trends discovered in data. It's how you make sense of it all and uncover meaningful trends. Insights are the value you gain from data and analytics. Insights should be actionable and prescriptive. In other words, you know what to do next. Here's an example. Let's assume you have an e-commerce website. Data shows that you had 1,500 site visits in the past 30 days. Analytics show that 30% accessed your site from a mobile device. Insights reveal that visitors using mobile devices are 60% more likely to convert. But if you're new to data and analytics, the reports can be overwhelming. So let's look at a few ways to use data to help make decisions instead of relying on gut instincts. This involves using tools to see patterns in customer usage. Before diving in, you need to identify goals so you can ask the right questions. Today, we'll start with the basics of using Google Analytics to better drive your business decisions. During the first part of this class, we'll discuss what data is and how we use it to drive our business decisions. Then we'll go into the basics of your Google Analytics account and how to start collecting data from your website. Next, we'll review questions that you should ask your data to better understand your customers. We'll also walk through the reports that help answer those questions. We'll show you how to interpret reports with using features like dimensions and segments, and how you can make your reports even more useful by connecting analytics with your other Google products. If you set up Google Analytics for your website or app before October 14, 2020, the screenshots and report terms in this workshop will be what you see in your account. If you're setting up Google Analytics for the first time, you'll see a newer version of Google Analytics. In today's workshop, we'll primarily focus on using data to make better business decisions, concepts that apply to both versions and software. If you want to learn more about new Google Analytics, we can share 3 resources to help you get started. I'll put those in the chat box later. So, intro into Google Analytics. Think about this. If the goal is to increase online orders this month by 10%, you might want to know which traffic source is bringing in your most visitors. For answers, use Google Analytics, which is at g.co/analytics. Free tool and one of the most popular website analytic tools available that help you better understand customer experience. It provides you with all the data you need to help understand your customers and to make decisions based on insight. It allows you to connect to a dashboard that measures information and tracks the customer's journey on your website. Remember, if you're not measuring, you're not marketing. For example, understand customers, demographics, gender, and interests. What is your site meeting expectations? Understand behavior on site and what actionable steps to take. How customers find your site to drive organic traffic. Track and record goal completions. Google Analytics can help you reach, engage, and convert questions about your business. How do people find my site? What do customers interact with once they find me? What demographics visit my site most? What channel drives the most traffic? And if you are with the newer analytics, the screen you're looking at may be different than what you're used to seeing. Ideally, your website leads the user from one page of useful context to the next until they finally convert. Google Analytics can help you better understand your audience and the insights of their activity gives you so that you can make more strategic decisions for your business. There are many different types of reports that can help you better understand how people found and then engaged with your website. Learn which search terms and sources drive the most traffic. To remedy a high bounce rate and misalignment between your visitors and your website's content, examine in detail your visitors' interaction with your web pages, the nature of your traffic, and why these visitors are arriving at your website. See demographic information for your most profitable customers. Look for useful ways to segment your user. Rather than designing one experience for everyone or the average user, look for distinct groups that might have different ways, plan points, or behaviors. You may also begin to understand the characteristics of your most profitable audiences. Understand what content your audience is most interested in. Evaluating your traffic can help you identify who is and who isn't finding your page content to be useful. It can also drive your decision making when it comes to the content you decide to highlight on your website. Evaluate which channels drive the most conversions. Understand where your traffic comes from and what drives their conversions on your website. It'll help to make smarter advertising, content, and design decisions. To start collecting basic data from your website, first create or sign in to your analytics account. Go to g.co/analytics. Do one of the following. To create an account, click Start for Free. To sign into your account, click Sign into Analytics. Then set up a property in your analytics account. A property represents your website or app, and it is the collection point in analytics for the data from your website or app. Most of you will be setting up a property for your website. It can be helpful to collaborate with a team, business partner, or perhaps a professional marketer. You can bring on additional collaborators to access the same Google Analytics account by accessing the admin area and clicking User Management under the Account or Property sections. Here you can click the blue plus in the upper right corner and choose to add a user or add user groups. User groups are used to easily group users with like permissions together. When adding new users, only those users you granted permission to will gain access to your website. Again, reminding you that this screenshot is an older version of Google. Once your account is set up, you will have access to the reports. Keep in mind that it can take up to 24 hours for data to start appearing in your account. Here's a quick tip. If you want to make sure your reports are collecting data without waiting until the next day, open the real-time report. It will tell us if anybody's looking at your website right now. So you can visit your website and open the report to see if the report is reporting your visit. If you can use that to make sure your website are tagged correctly. When you sign into analytics, the homepage gives you a summary of what's interesting about your data. These cards will show you information like overall traffic and conversions, users, revenue, conversion, rate sessions. You can click a metric to change the graph, the number of users on your site right now, and which pages they're viewing. Overall conversion rate, the channels by which you acquire users. Site visitors by geographic location. User volume by day and by hour. You can also create custom dashboards by clicking customizations. Dashboards are a collection of widgets that give you an overview of the reports and metrics you care most about. It can define widgets within the dashboard itself. A widget is a mini report that can display your data in a number of presentation styles, including simple numeric, metrics, tables, and charts. Once you create and customize a dashboard, you can share it with others. Now let's find some answers with reports. Now that you know how to set up your Google Analytics account, let's dive into what you can learn from these new insights. I want to introduce you to Ava and Ricky. Ava and Ricky are small business owners who sell apparel through their online store. Up until now, Ava and Ricky have been making most of the decisions for their e-commerce business from either their own gut instincts or ad hoc feedback from their existing and past customers. They've decided to set up Google Analytics to get a better understanding of what is and isn't working in their online store so they can make more strategic business decisions. We will use the Google Merchandise Store Analytics account to represent Ava and Ricky's e-commerce store. You can access this information from your own device so you can dig deeper into these reports and practice before setting up your own. Sometimes making decisions on gut instincts works great, but it's almost always better to base those decisions on actions and data. Many decisions could see improved results if data supported them. For example, Ava and Ricky would experiment with a new t-shirt design and then immediately add it to their website banner without collecting data from their audience on the need or desire for those new designs or styles. Here we've included an image of 3 new shirts on the banner from the merchandise homepage. When sales were down for a particular item, they would put it on sale. Instead of cutting prices when sales were down, Ava and Ricky could have boosted the visibility by advertising or trying different promotions using the data to see if it helped. When Ava and Ricky started their e-commerce business, they assumed their customer base would primarily be females in the 35 to 44 age range and used that to drive marketing initiatives without collecting any data. For your own business or website, here's how we recommend you get started. First, outline goals, the customer actions you care about most. What outcomes do you want? What do you want to improve? One example, increase web traffic by X%. Second, what questions do you need to ask? What info do you need to know to achieve goals? Quick tip, the questions we ask about offline advertising campaigns often apply online too. And third, determine which tools and reporting can get you answers. Let's start with goals. Start with the outcome in mind. What do you want to happen? What are you trying to achieve? Anything you do should support your goals. There are many types of goals, like the simple example of increasing web traffic by X%. But is that goal meaningful? Before we go any further, let's talk about what good business goals are. One way to use the SMART framework. Is the goal specific and detailed? Can you track this goal? How will you be able to measure it? How will you know when you've accomplished it? Is this goal realistically attainable? Will this goal help you reach your business goals? Is it relevant to your business? And when do you want to achieve this goal? Set a time frame. Ava and Ricky set a goal for their merchandise store to decrease shopping cart abandonment to less than 60%. They use analytics to find out how many users were adding items to their cart over a period of time. They compared that number to total transactions during the same time period to measure cart abandonment rate. As time went on, they made modifications to the checkout process to decrease that number. With each incremental change, they reviewed those numbers to see the effect. Ultimately, they were able to drive cart abandonment rate down to less than 45%. Different sites have different goals: online orders, leads, gen, and engagement, etc. So, what are your own goals? Take a few minutes and write them down. Keep goals in mind. We'll refer to them throughout this workshop. For current business owners, think about existing goals that you have for your business that you want to monitor and measure with Google Analytics. For those of you who haven't yet created your new website, what purpose do you think your website will serve? What conversion goals do you have based on the actions you would like your customers to take? Feel free to write down a few ideas if you have pen and paper or digital document in front of you. Keep in mind, your website goals may become even more important if your primary business operations have been moved to the online space. Now that we have defined goals, we can consider what questions to ask and to meet them. Let's look at examples of questions to ask to help you get the answers you need. The framework you see represents stages of a business relationship with customers. You ask questions and use answers to move customers through these stages. First, reach customers with methods like advertising, organic search, social media, and offline promotions. After they arrive, you need to engage them. Can they find what they're looking for? Then it's conversion time. The goal: help visitors complete more actions on your site. For example, they might buy a t-shirt or submit a form with a question about a bulk order or sign up for a newsletter. Ultimately, you want to sustain long-term relationships, get customers to return. This could be a rewards program, discounts. So to recap, reach questions, ask, how do my customers find me? Engage questions, ask, what do they look at and engage with? Convert questions, ask, do visitors become customers? And sustain questions, ask, do my customers return? We'll revisit these questions as we dive deeper into reports. Let's revisit those questions we suggested you ask to better understand your data. We'll start with reach. Think of reach as the people you want to visit your website and become your customers. Reach questions help you to understand brand, recognition, and awareness of how people find you online. Back to Ava and Ricky's online merchandise store. If their goal is to increase online orders by 10% this month, they might ask, how do people find us online? If customers can't find their business online, they can't place orders. Think about other reach questions Ava and Ricky might ask. Do they have the correct name, address, and phone number published online? Is the website address easy to remember and type? If they have an email newsletter, do people open it, read it, click through it? Next, let's talk about engagement and the reports that help us answer these questions. Engaged questions involve discovering how or if people who find you interact with your site. Do they navigate to more than one page of your website? Do they watch your videos? Do they search for things on your site? Do they download PDF spec sheets? Do they look at your menu? Think about what other engaged questions Ava and Ricky could ask. Can people easily find their product? Do people create accounts at checkout? Do people download coupons? Let's now look at those conversion insights. Conversion turns site visitors into paying customers. Convert questions help you find out how or if that happens. Once people find you online, do they take further action? Do they purchase? Do they sign up for the newsletter? Schedule an appointment? To meet their goals, Ava and Ricky can ask, how many online orders did we receive last month? Think about what other convert questions they could ask. Is it easy to order from the online store? What social media channels drive the most sales? What coupons or sales help increase orders? Lastly, sustain turns customers into loyal customers who continue to interact with your business. Sustain questions help you understand what customers say about you online. Do they like your product and services? What they wish you did better, etc. To meet Ava and Ricky's goals for their merchandise store, they might ask, what are people saying about my business online? Think about other sustain questions they could ask. What color shirts would they like to see via Google form? Who are the loyal repeat customers and how can they be rewarded? So we have our goals and questions we need to ask. What tools can help us answer those questions? Now that we've had a chance to review our dashboard, let's look at some of the different types of insights available with analytics. We know Google Analytics can seem complex and daunting. A million ways to mix and match segments to produce reports. This is an overview of the categories and how you can mix and match filters to produce reports. These categories will match the types of reports you see in the menu to the left of your at-home dashboard. Real time shows the impact of marketing efforts in real time. Immediately and continuously monitor the effects the campaigns and site changes have. Audience reports provide insight into characteristics of your users, such as demographics, interests, geo, language and behavior, technology and devices. Acquisition reports provide a window on your users' acquisition behavior conversion cycle. Basically, how you acquire users, behavior on site, and their conversion patterns. Behavior reports tell you how behavior varies between the new and returning users of your website. Conversion reports is the completion of an activity that is important to the success of your business, such as sign up for your email newsletter or a purchase. You can use these reports to see how all of your channels work together to create sales. Real time shows the impact of marketing efforts in real time. Immediately and continuously monitor the effects that campaigns and site changes have. Here are a few highlights of the ways you might use real time. Determine if new and changed site content is being viewed. Determine if one-day promotions drive traffic, which pages are viewed. Monitor immediate effects on site traffic from a blog or social posts. Monitor goal completions as your test site changes. Ava and Ricky's business may have had the benefit of media coverage. When this occurs, it can be difficult to measure how that may affect traffic spikes on the site. Info allows Ava and Ricky to prep for the site as much as traffic and forecast potential orders. From the beginning of their business, Ava and Ricky used real time to measure the traffic spike as media coverage ran. As they collected historical data, they were able to compare it to the number of orders while factoring in the reach of that particular exposure. Now they're able to accurately predict how many orders and traffic spikes to expect when they have an upcoming media release or radio appearance based on the size of the audience. Audience reports provides insight into who your audience is, such as demographics, interests, geo, language and behavior, technology and devices. Business owners can often have preconceived notions about who their audiences are. Google Analytics can help you learn more about your audience and potentially detect a mismatch. Ava and Ricky initially assumed that their target audience was females 35 to 44, but what they can actually see from their demographic report is that the largest audience is males aged 25 to 34. They can use that information to drive their marketing initiatives and future product development. Acquisition reports provide a window on users' acquisition behavior conversion cycle. Basically, how you acquire users, behavior on your site, and conversion patterns. See where traffic comes from and how channels perform. Ava and Ricky use acquisition reports to find out how many people are discovering their online store or finding them through search. With this report, see screenshot acquisition. They can see the different sources of their traffic to include organic search, social media, and paid search. They can use info to drive site content, overall content strategy, Google ad campaigns, and advertising affiliate content. Behavior flow reports visualize the path users travel one page or event to the next. It helps you discover what content keeps users engaged with your site and identify potential content issues. FYI, you must have set up and be tracking events before they appear in the behavior flow report. The more organized you are about setting up the event tracking code, the easier it is to use the events or pages and events views of the behavior flow report. You must also have set up content groupings before they appear in the report. In part 2 of this class, we'll discuss the process of setting up events in Google Analytics. Ava and Ricky use behavior flow to help guide them through any changes to the merchandise that may affect the conversion funnel. This gives them a great view into the path that people are taking on their site, so they can identify any areas of efficiency in the conversion process. Conversion reports. A conversion is a completion of an important business activity, like a purchase or lead. Use reports to see how all of your channels work together toward conversions. Ava and Ricky use conversion reports quite a bit for their merchandise store. When they make a change to the site or products, they want to make sure it has a positive effect on conversions. You never want to guess. They grab a report for recent period, make change on their site, then see how that change affects or doesn't affect their conversion percentage and or their average order value. For example, they started offering video messages to customers. This allowed their customer to upload a video message to a gift recipient that would be texted or emailed to the package recipient when the parcel was delivered, the merchandise package to the door. It offered a cool way to add a personal touch from the gift giver, but it required an extra checkout step. Whenever you add a step, you risk decreasing conversions. People don't want to go through 20 steps to check out. They design the step to be as efficient as possible, making it easy to skip and quick for someone who did want to use it. With each iteration of the feature, they measure the conversion percentage and adjust it accordingly. Other conversions you can measure include newsletter signups, forms submitted, appointments booked, or orders completed. Within your audience reports, the behavior report for new versus returning users can help you gain valuable insight into the sustainability of your audience. If Ava and Ricky see that new visitors to their merchandise store are spending far more time on their site than returning visitors, they may want to decide to incentivize first-time visitors to return later. They could offer a coupon code to shoppers after they complete their first purchase. This data could also give insight into issues with the website or its content that may be preventing customers from returning. So, what did Ava and Ricky learn? By using Google Analytics, Ava and Ricky discovered that most of their gut instincts, which drive their business decisions, are wrong. By using their top audience is 25 to 34-year-old males, not 35 to 44-year-old females as previously expected. They also discovered that most of their traffic is coming from organic search, not paid ads. Lastly, they're able to see that most of their purchases are from brand new customers and first-time visitors, not their loyal following as previously assumed. Before we move forward, let's define some terms we're going to be using throughout the presentation. These are all used in Google Analytics. Dimensions, a descriptive attribute or characteristic of data. Browser, landing page, and campaign are all examples of default dimensions in analytics. Segments are a subset of sessions or users that share common attributes. Goals, setting to track actions or conversions on your site or mobile app. Hits, a visitor interaction on your site that resulted in data being sent to analytics. Events, a type of hit used to track user interactions with content. Now that we've had a chance to set up our goals in Google Analytics, let's dive deeper into understanding our data with dimensions. If you've already set up Google Analytics, it's likely you've been using dimensions all along and not known it. Dimensions describes your data. For example, the dimension city describes the city where the user's session originates. The values could be Atlanta, Seattle, Chicago, Albany, etc. Other dimensions could include the device or browser used to access your website. Each report includes a primary dimension, a lens from which you can view your data. Sometimes you may want to dig deeper than the primary dimension. That's where secondary dimensions come to play. They allow us to layer on another dimension and to get more depth view on the data we're currently analyzing. For example, you could set your primary dimension, city, as New York, and then layer on a secondary dimension like browser. This will change the view of the report so that you can see how many visitors to your website came from New York City and what browser they used to access your site. Let's take a closer look. In this example, we're using a location report under the Geo section. We've narrowed it down to just showing Texas, as we're looking to make some decisions on our current marketing efforts in Dallas. The primary dimension, or city, offers great insight as to how many users we acquired during the selected frame, but it doesn't tell us where those users came from. We can view which channels are driving traffic to our website by adding a secondary dimension. In this example, under the secondary dimension drop-down, source/medium is selected. Source/medium describes where your traffic comes from. The source is the place users are before they see your content, like a search engine or another website. Medium describes how users arrived at your content. Some values for medium include organic, for unpaid search traffic, and none for direct traffic. Now, the report you will not only in the city, but the source or medium that is driving the traffic. Using filters, we can take our already detailed data to the next level. Remember, I wanted to focus on the source of my website traffic data in Dallas, but we could still see other cities in Texas. If I type Dallas in the filter and click the search button, I can now see just Dallas, the city we want to focus on. Clicking on Advanced allows me to use the advanced filter functions like multiple filter criteria, exclusions, and regular expressions if needed. Dimensions helps you better understand your data by diving deeper. But now we'll discuss segments. Segments help you analyze and understand the trends of your business by setting up subsets of your data in Google Analytics. Segments are subsets of your analytics data that you can isolate to analyze and respond to the trends in your business. For example, let's say you own a merchandise business with an online store. All of your site visitors in one segment might be users from a particular county or city. Another segment may include users who only purchase t-shirts. What can you do with segment data? Let's say by looking at the segment data of customers in a particularly geographic location, you notice that a specific group is no longer purchasing hats from your merchandise store. This may give you insight that leads you to figure out that another business in that geographic location is also selling hats with similar designs at a lower price. You could then change your design or your pricing strategy to compete with that location. You can also use segments in your marketing. For example, you can create a segment of users who only visit or purchase from your kids' t-shirt pages, and then target them with remarketing campaigns that only offer new items or promotions for kids. The default segment for analytics is all users, which allows you to view your data for all users that visit your site. There will often be times that you want to focus on a certain subset or segment of that data. You can use filters for subsets of users, sessions, and hits. Subsets of the users include customer activity on your website, such as users who have previously purchased or those who have added items to their shopping cart but didn't complete a purchase. Subsets of sessions include interactions by a single user that are grouped into sessions, such as all sessions originating from a holiday campaign or sessions where a purchase occurred. Subsets of hits are interactions during a session. Hits can include page views, events, transactions. An example of a hit is a subset of sessions that resulted in revenue greater than $15. You can utilize the standard system of provided segments to view or even compare data for the different subsets of your user base. In our example, we are reviewing data for several traffic source segments, as well as users that made purchase of the same time in the demographics overview report. We can clearly see that our top age group is the same across all traffic sources, direct, organic, and referral, as well as those who made actual purchase. This helps us to solidify some of the assumptions that were made as to who the target age of our group for our site. To build a new segment within your report, simply add segment at the top of your report. Click the red button labeled New Segment. Give the segment a name that will be easy to remember and populate the criteria that will define your segment. To define a segment, you'll choose characteristics. For example, your segment might be men, age 18 to 65, living in North America using Chrome browser. You can preview the segment. To save that segment for later, click Save. One of the advantages to using Google Analytics is the way in which it communicates with other tools that are enhanced by quality data, such as Google Ads and Search Console. If you use multiple Google products, you can maximize the benefits of those products by linking them and sharing data across linked accounts. Google Analytics can be linked with multiple products, such as Google Ads and Google Search Console, to better provide insight into complete customer journey from the click on an ad or search result all the way to the conversion or lack thereof on your website. There are several products that you can link to your Google Analytics account, but we only mentioned two of the more widely used ones done here. You might be wondering what advantage there is to linking Google Analytics to other Google products you currently use. Some examples of how you can better utilize data by linking accounts together include: you can learn what happens after users click on your Google ad. This helps you learn what's working and what isn't so that you can take steps to improve your campaigns. For instance, certain keywords may result in higher conversion rate. Let's say people searching for blue t-shirts land on your site from Google ad. By 45% of the time, when people search for red shirts who come to your site, and only by 3% of the time. You can then increase your Google ad bids for your high-performing keywords. You can target specific users based on their previous behavior. By linking your Google Analytics with your Google Ads account, you can define customer groups by their activity on your website. For example, you can identify the audience who has put 3 or more items in their shopping cart but then abandoned the cart. By offering this group a temporary promotion, you may be able to convert them after shopping cart abandonment. You can use advanced machine learning. Google Analytics uses machine learning to help you get the most out of your data. You can better understand your organic traffic and how certain keywords either do or do not convert. By linking Google Search Console with your Google Analytics, you'll be able to better understand your organic traffic and the conversions that either do or do not take place with those audiences. To link Google products to analytics, you must first create an account for each product you want to link. Once your account is set up, you can head over to Admin section of Analytics. From there, click the All Products selection under the Product Linking heading in the Property section. Here you can click the link button for each product you want to click in Analytics. The process for each product will vary slightly, but they all involve inputting and selecting the account you want to link to your Analytics account. Pro tip: registering all your Google products under the same Google account email address will make linking accounts even quicker. We've covered a lot of information today, so let's talk about what to do next. So how can Ava and Ricky make better decisions based on what they learned? By using Google Analytics, Ava and Ricky discovered their top audience is 25 to 34-year-old males. Right now, if their website creative is designed to be relatable to their assumed demographic, they may need to make a handful of changes to their website design. This may affect their ad strategy as well as both audiences they want to target in the future and promotions imagery they use. This data may also be an indication of the product changes that they may need to make in order to tailor their merchandise to a female audience and a variety of different age groups. By understanding that most of their traffic is actually coming from organic search, Ava and Ricky may want to review their search queries and update their ads for a more effective search term. They may also want to reevaluate their paid ads if they're proving ineffective. Ava and Ricky also learned that most of their paying customers are new visitors to their website. They may decide to offer a loyalty program or promotions for past customers to encourage repeat business. As we can see, Ava and Ricky learned much more about their target audience and how to form their future business decisions by looking at their data with Google Analytics. Now that you have your goals, identify the questions you need to ask. Remember to ask questions based on phases of customer engagement: reach, engage, convert, and sustain. Seek reports that can help you answer questions. If you want to sharpen your business and marketing skills, check out Primer. This is a free app that you can download to your phone. If you have an Android device, you can download it at Google Play. If you have an Apple device, you can download it from the Apple App Store. This has a series of short, fun lessons that are all less than 5 minutes. Grow your digital skills no matter where you're located. Through online workshops, you can learn skills that help you stay connected and productive while working and managing a business remotely. Curious about the workshops that you can take virtually from home? Visit g.co/growonair for our current virtual digital skills workshops and their descriptions. Stay tuned for upcoming classes on Google Ads, using your YouTube to grow your business, and the second part of Google Analytics for more immediate strategies. Grow with Google is a new initiative to help people prepare for work, find jobs, and grow their business. Job seekers can grow their skills in order to find new jobs and advance their careers. Teachers can learn how to put the latest technology to work and outside the classroom. Small business owners can build their online presence to find new customers. Startups can learn how to get their ideas and exposure they need to succeed. Developers can sharpen their current skills and master new ones. To learn more, visit google.com/grow. Thank you for attending this session today on making better decisions with analytics, business decisions with analytics. Hope that you took some time to learn a little bit about what to do with these numbers rather than just seeing them. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I am Christina Shepard. My email is cshepard@docolib.org, or I can be found at the Central Library in Albany on the second floor. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.